Thanks for listening to Mike Douglas, Michigan's retirement coach.
Is your savings portfolio and or retirement plan past its expiration date? This is a real thing. And actually, we're not even talking about it in food terms. We're talking about it in modern day technology terms, Mike.
Yep.
This is Michigan's retirement coach, certified financial planner, Mike Douglas. I'm Heather Branch, here to ask Mike about checking in and checking up on what may be past due for a refresh, for an update when it comes to our savings plan. We were having a whole other conversation. Was it on the radio show we were talking about? No, it was off the air. We were talking about how Kimberly will get on you about how can you be eating that sandwich? How can you be eating that cheeseburger if you do a grill out? How can you eat that cheeseburger? It's been sitting out for 2 hours. And it's like, yeah, it's only been sitting out for 2 hours. It's fine. It's delicious.
Yeah, I grilled it 2 hours ago. I think it'll be okay.
It's fine. Yep.
Nope.
My husband can't. Kyle, if it is unsealed, if it's sealed, new packaging, new fresh food, but if the expiration date is yesterday, nope, he throw it right in the trash can. And I'm like, did you open it? Did you smell it? The expiration dates aren't real. They aren't real. It is yes.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
If it doesn't smell funny, if it doesn't taste funny, eat it. It's fine.
Yeah.
This is on YouTube. I should go ahead and say, I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a medical professional. Please do not follow these rules that I'm saying when it comes to the food you eat. Protect yourself. Be safe. Make the right decisions.
Yeah.
Disclosure.
And it's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good
Smell
point.
test it and you're fine.
These are the rules that Mike and I live by anyway.
Yeah, smell test it, and there's no such thing as a 5-second or 10-second rule in public places. That's the only thing.
Every parent in the world is agreeing with you on that.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it at home. Don't do it in public places.
What about outdated technology stuff? Anybody that has got a flip phone, I actually tip my hat to you because I'm done with my smartphone. It's just getting in the way at this point. It just distracts me. Hey, remember this? The sound of the dial tone. And that moment, you'd have to wait to see if you actually connected because sometimes you didn't connect. Sometimes it would drop you.
Yes.
On AOL when you're trying to log in to see if you've got mail. I still miss AIM and chatting with people. I liked that. I liked having that feature on my desktop. It's fun to
Do you remember what your screen name was?
I think it was
AOL Instant Messenger.
I think it was just because that was way back in the day and I was a kid. And so my family's last name, we just used my whole family because it was the login. That was the AOL address.
Yeah. So I had one that was Pigskin 86 because I was number 86 on my football team.
Okay.
And then once I graduated from there, I was like, I wanted a cooler sounding name to have in the chat rooms.
How corny did you go? How corny did you go?
So I was 13 years old. And so I started out by making my name Jock 13. But they said, I was like, nah, I'm almost 14. I want to sound 14 years old, so I'll be more mature. So then I put in Jock 14 as the username I wanted. And they said, yep, here it is. Jock143859 at AOL.com.
That's not what I asked for.
And those numbers mean nothing to me.
Did you still use it?
So, yeah. And so then, because back then it wasn't like now where you can just create like a million Gmails and nobody knows about it. Right? So I had that one. And so then for the rest of the time I used that, basically until I got a college email account, it was like, what's the 143859? I'm like, well, now at 18, it didn't sound so cool wanting to sound like I was 14 years old in a chat room. So I was like, it's just a bunch of worthless numbers.
You need to make up some cool story about the numbers.
But the name meant something. Your screen name meant something. Like it had like value to it.
Yeah. For some people. For me, I was always boring. I would always just go with whatever. Now, my married name, Heather Branch is what's most of my stuff. I'm boring like that. I'm predictable like that.
Yeah. Now it's just like M. Douglas as a Gmail account.
That's right. And everybody's envious of that. They're like, how did you get that Gmail address? That's so great.
My dad had Blair Douglas at AOL.com.
Nice. Perfect.
And my father-in-law, who's a minister, he probably still has. They both probably still have it. But Pastor Matt at AOL.com.
Hopefully.
You know how much of an early adopter you have to be to get Pastor Matt at AOL.com?
Yeah.
That's crazy early.
Hopefully they are still not adopters to the dial-up experience because that's still around, much to our surprise. Dial-up still exists.
This was news to me.
However, AOL is now officially pulling the plug, pun intended, on dial-up. There's only about 160,000 subscribers left. Slow clap. The thing is, technology, if you're an old school technology user, fine. Like, who cares?
160, can we not gloss over that? 160,000 people still use dial-up?
Mm-hmm. Well, think about how many people still use flip phones. If you're using old technology, fine. It's not hurting you. In fact, you're probably a healthier person for it. Technology is not necessarily all your friends.
Those people, I promise you, have a minutes plan on their cell phone.
And they're better for it because they're not
10 cents to send, 2 cents to receive.
Time limits to use on their phone. Now let's talk about expiration dates, out of date, old school stuff when it comes to our retirement savings plan. Are there things still in use that you see that surprise you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that I'm always surprised when people bring in, number one, is old advice from big box standards from years ago.
Like
whether it's the rule of 4% or the absolutes of like a 60-40 portfolio or a dogmatic approach for or against annuities, a separation of church and state when it comes to investments and taxes in estate planning. I think that's ridiculous that your taxes and estate planning wouldn't be done by the same person or the same firm. But the idea of having, well, I got this guy over here, I got this, like, that's such an antiquated thought to say, oh, I've got this CPA and I got that estate planning, I got that. Most of your stuff integrates and affects each other. So I think that's an old advice model, and it's the old financial institution model. I think it's designed to silo responsibility and liability. They do not talk to each other, and you can give them each other's business cards all day long. They do not talk to each other. So the idea of the siloed investment portfolio, really, I don't like. If you're with a financial advisor and you're trying to make financial decisions and they don't know the tax consequences of buying and selling inside a certain portfolio or withdrawing, and they may have some clue about withdrawing from IRAs, because if you don't know that, what the heck are you doing? But if you talk about, I have this non-qualified account that's a brokerage account, it's after-tax money, but it's not in a Roth, how should I invest it? If they just buy and sell inside of it with no regard for how it's taxed, if they put you in dividends for no regard for how it's taxed, if they just do that without a clue of what the results are going to be, and they say, well, what else are you going to do? There are other things you can do. And so that's that siloed mentality of, I'm just the investment guy. I don't deal with taxes. I'm just the tax guy. I don't give advice on investments. I don't like that. I think that's old and antiquated. And if you're not working with a one-stop shop, or at least a shop that can knock out all those things in one spot with a CFP or having a CPA on in the firm and an elder law attorney in the firm, if you don't have those things, I think that's pretty crazy. Number one. Number two, I think old investments. I still see mutual fund heavy portfolios. I think that's interesting. Knowing the cost of mutual funds, knowing the illiquidity of some mutual funds, knowing the tax inefficiencies of mutual funds. Exchange traded funds are very efficient. Now, there's some negatives to them as well. Sometimes they're low volume. You can't trade them as much. You can't put as much into them. And some people think they're not as stable as mutual funds because they're younger and newer and haven't been around as long.
Is that the case, though?
Yeah. So mutual funds have been around since the 60s is when they came around. And mutual funds are just a basket of stocks that some advisor at American Funds or Lord Abbett or Franklin Templeton or wherever, and this is not a bash on that, but what they do is this fund manager buys a bunch of stocks in a portfolio, wraps a mutual fund wrapper around them, and sells the mutual fund to people. So he's in charge of buying and selling inside that mutual fund. You don't have to do anything. You just buy the mutual fund and you get to write it out while he does all the work. Typically, the fee on that is 1.1 to 1.2% per year. I think the last study I saw was 1.19. That's the fee, not to your advisor, but to the guy at American Funds or Lord Abbett or Franklin Templeton or wherever. That is not the cost of having a financial advisor. So then you do that and you have this mutual fund and you buy into the mutual fund today. And then tomorrow He decides he wants to sell some of his positions in technology because it's overweighted, because it's grown so much. So he's going to sell them. There's a large capital gain because he owned them for a long time. They've run up, he sells them. And there's a capital gain that has to be paid. And he splits it evenly amongst all shareholders, regardless of when you purchase the fund. So I purchased the fund today. Tomorrow he sells positions. He splits the capital gains amongst all of us and reduces my return on gains I didn't get. That's called a phantom capital gain.
Okay.
You're taxed or feed or reduced returns on a fund for a gain you didn't get.
Got it.
So that's a problem.
Yeah.
Even worse is you buy a fund, it goes down in value, and as part of a portfolio rebalances, he sells winning positions that are old. The capital gains get distributed across the whole group. Right. You bought it, you lost money, and then they hit you with that phantom capital gains. So you have even more of a loss on your portfolio. That's crazy.
That stinks, yeah.
An ETF wouldn't act that way. Now, typically, mutual funds are more actively managed, ETFs more passively managed. However, if you're buying the S&P 500, it's not even managed. It's just a fund. So why would you buy the mutual fund when you can buy the ETF?
Okay.
I think that's a lot of it. You're also seeing some people still in old annuities that are not good, have terrible plans on them, terrible incomes on them, terrible investments. And there are some out there that are way better or that you shouldn't be in at all. So I think that when you see old annuities come in and they say, oh, I got this thing in 2008 and it was the best thing going, I promise you it's not the best thing going anymore.
Well, because we've seen higher interest rates over the last 5 years. I heard somebody talk about it once. They were saying when interest rates fall, as we saw in 2019-ish, what do? You go to the bank, you refinance your mortgage, you get a lower interest rates. It's the exact opposite perspective. When interest rates are high, like they are right now, you need to be seeking out things
you
like
refinance your annuities.
Which you can do.
Refinance. I should air quote that.
Right.
Refinance
But what you can do, because I think a lot of people also think that if they have an annuity, that they're stuck with it. It is what it is. That's not the case necessarily.
No, just like you rebalance portfolio, you can rebalance your annuity into a better high interest rate annuity that will get you better income and better returns over the years. Yeah. So number one, old siloed advice. Number two, old investments. Number three, old technology.
Okay.
Right. We shouldn't be building out our retirement on a spreadsheet anymore. I get it. You're probably an engineer and you've been doing this forever. I promise you there are cheap or very free or very cheap calculators that can calculate things you don't factor in. Whether it's the cost of long-term care with inflation on certain years, whether it's sequence of returns risk with the market, or it's all these different things. There are so many variables out there. And yet we come in and we say, well, I've got this spreadsheet I put together. I should be okay. The more you dive into it, the more variables there are. And you probably need to at least invest in a better retirement planning software or work with someone who has that. Okay. Because a spreadsheet does not factor in some. And we used to use them because we built better spreadsheets than the old software. I'm thinking back in like 2012, 13, 14, even 15. Yeah. And then it felt like the technology and the retirement planning sector got so much better.
Well, it had to. Thank you, baby boomers. Thank you, baby boomers, because there's so many people retiring that the opportunities and the technology have finally caught up to what we need.
Yeah. I mean, so technology follows money, right? Yeah. And so when the deluge of baby boomers comes through the retirement market, and we know for a fact that it's what we call peak 65. More people retiring now than ever, right? What do you think tech companies are looking at? Well, where are the most subscribers and users? Well, we're going to go over there. So they started making great technology. So do that. And I think the last thing, I'm going to say this very cautiously, old advisors. Old financial advisors. As
in age, as in they've been in it
let's say you're 58 or 60 or 62 and you're looking to retire and your advisor is 65.
What are they looking to do? Hello? They're looking to retire. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you need the three things. I would like a seasoned doctor, right? Maybe more of like a seasoned specialist. I want a really seasoned specialist. But when it comes to my financial team, I want a CPA who's going to be around to do my taxes the rest of my life, an estate planning attorney who's going to be here to execute my estate at my death, and a financial advisor who can not just be here, but will still be at their desk working through my retirement. Because if you say, well, I've got my buddy, we're the same age, we've been doing this forever, we're both 65. Okay, then you're both retiring. You're going to get handed off to someone else in their firm that maybe you do or don't know. and they're just going to kind of do things the old way, versus if you work with a firm that has an elder law attorney who's younger, tax planning person who's younger, because also you will typically find that with technology, the older stuff is there. It's already built into the tech, whether it's tax prep software, estate planning software, but the new creative ways of dealing with taxes and estate planning and investments will typically be pursued by someone who's younger, maybe a little bit more pursuant of new ideas, versus someone who's been doing it for 40 years and says, I've always done it this way. And you say, right, but the tax law just changed a lot and we should adjust these things.
Yeah.
So those are my big four.
Okay.
Old advice from the big box or siloed advice from financial institutions, old investments, old technology, old advisors. Those are the four things you need to be aware of. Don't be 160,000 people using AOL dial-up. Get on the gig down, gig up, fiber speed financial planning. That's what you want to do.
You deserve more than dial up. and how it aligns in your retirement planning. You have worked for 40 years in many cases to get to this point. You're getting ready to retire. You want to know that you don't have old school thought processes or technology or investment processes within your portfolio. How do you begin to unpack those things? It can start with a conversation with Mike and his team at Life Plan Financial Design. MichigansRetirementCoach.com is our website, and where you can go to start the conversation with Mike and his team. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there, because look at you being all tech savvy with your high-speed internet, not dialing up, connecting in and watching this video on YouTube. Very impressive. You've come this far. Let's keep the modern trajectory going for your future. Again, visit us, start the conversation with Mike and his team at MichigansRetirementCoach.com.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit MichigansRetirementCoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.